great. I'm loving everything I'm hearing.
Yes, indeed. Hopefully Nick will hop back in. I shared it in the.
Can't hear you. Are you muted? No.
No.
Couldn't hear anything you said.
Oh, hello, can you hear me? Anybody hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes. Yeah, I shared the link in the ASC team chat over there. Hopefully he got the link. Alex Roland. Rolling. Unmute yourself. You guys can continue where you were at.
For sure. So yeah, we and just to clarify your question. So you're basically asking, what can people start with no money, right? What can people do with little capital, or there's some kind of feedback I'm hearing.
Yeah, I'm asking about that, and then also what we've been doing is partnering with basically something like service level distributors in countries.
Sure.
So that we can go through a services contract and then either lend startup materials or funds into a country and then recoup like cost recovery later.
Sure.
This is especially useful in cases where a business might be used for a profit vehicle, and then what happens is that we have businesses that exploit the technology, and then the royalties that they pay fund the poor people.
Sure.
And then we pull their license. We pull the for-profit people's license after they've milked it for a little while. So those are a couple of the models, and I'd love to see a shared distribution network for this kind of thing, or any other kind of stuff. We just have one system, but it's sort of foundational. We map communities and get businesses talking to each other. So that's part of what we do.
Nice. So yeah, on a service level, I've looked a lot about what India needs. They need clean water. It's a big deal over there. So we work with a number of people at a number of different price points to bring pure water to those places. So there's that. Sonera Water is one of those things that's on the website. And then I also work with One Earth Ventures, and they're more about building these ecosystems that can, show up through the UN and be fully funded, and create these really super closed loop systems, for countries like that. On the other side of it, though, so basically I was sharing the screen here. This is the Aslan project that we're working on right now. This is just kind of a layout of phase one, and then we're in Colorado, so they're growing medicinal cannabis. And in phase one, this is breaking down what they can do for just that one singularity, medicinal cannabis. What farm, containers can they use? What systems can they use? How to go about, dealing with the licensing. And then at the end of the day, what products we're gonna take to market for them, or teach them how to build their own markets. And we're interested in the medicine from the whole scope of it. So we want to know every single potential, cannabinoid that is available, and we want to do lab testing, research and development around that. And then ultimately, what New Earth Solutions is doing is it's forming what we call the ACC, which is the Awakened Cannabis Collective, which we would like to introduce in the United States because it's becoming a huge thing and it's an emerging market, in a way that allows people to get a home, power, clean water, food, and the way to grow medicine. And whether they choose to just be a steward there, which means they do nothing more than hold the house and make sure that the people that show up are the ones that are supposed to be there, and that the medicine gets to where it's supposed to go to, and all those details, or they actually are a part of it, is each one individual's choice. But we need both. We need managers on site and we need farmers on site. So that's just medicine. And when we go down and we talk about sweetgrass. So sweetgrass in the United States is currently unsourceable, and at least at the levels that it needs to be. So it's a regenerative crop. And for $5, you can get 100 plants. And those plants will produce about 30,000 plants in 2 months. Sweetgrass is used in ceremony in the United States quite often by almost every single tribe, if not every single tribe in the United States. So I already have a market for it. And right now in Santa Fe, where we discussed it just yesterday. And basically, it gives us another opportunity. So when I started researching sweetgrass, I realized that, there are sweetgrass festivals. Not a single one of those has anything to do with growing sweetgrass or harvesting sweetgrass. All it has to do is taking the sweetgrass once it has been harvested, which they're sourcing currently from Canada, and weaving it into baskets and then selling those baskets. And so here again is just a single crop that creates multiple businesses, that creates a whole avenue of medicine and a ceremonial, aspect as well. So one of the things that I said, here is that we'll develop sweetgrass festivals, and where the concept will be harvesting, weaving, and drying, and working with that plant for ceremonial purposes. And then giving people the business opportunity of taking home a plant and getting their own crops, et cetera, et cetera. And then, hemp at the end is another emerging market in the United States, which I think should be an emerging market throughout the world, because it's going to produce enough fuel for us to power this planet for the next 100 years. And all we need is 1 square mile of hemp to do so. If we have 1 square mile of hemp, we will have enough fuel to power this planet for the next 100 years. Let that sink in. I'm friends with some people who are very at the top of this field, and they are giving us access to the most precious seed that we can possibly use, feminized seed, so it doesn't interfere with the marijuana growers, and it's a high grain seed, so it produces hemp silk and fine hemp grain. These are also, when you use that type of level of seed for hemp alone, you get a faster soil remediation, because it just works that much harder and tills the soil for you. So, it has all of its benefits. And then, of course, the business models is biomass products and food products and blah, 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 blah. So I developed a company called Pt.3, which is going to be a hemp distribution company. It stands in the gap for all things hemp. And then going into food production, creating food forests, teaching people how to use greenhouses. We have a company that we work with. We're one of their beloved 10, that's what they call us, farm from the box, which allows you to have one of these shipping containers show up. They're about 40 grand. We can get financing for them, and they'll grow completely out of them 4 crops. They come with a water tank, all the irrigation, come with the wheelbarrows and shovels and everything you need to grow 4 crops out of 1 shipping container, including the app that lets it go all to your phone, so you can be anywhere in the world and dial any aspect of it. And then other things, food forests. So we work with a specific tree, which would probably grow very well in India, which is called Paulownia, Paulownia. Paulownia is the world's fastest growing tree. And it's year 3, you're getting $100,000 in material off of 1 tree. By year 10 to 15, you're getting years out of it. It's a root-bearing tree, so you can cut it all the way to the ground, and it just grows back denser every year. We also have an aquaponics company we work with called EcoBuilt Systems. They are currently able to produce over $2.5 million worth of food from 1 aquaponics center. And that is completely financing. We're currently in-house. Don't share this if you want to share this with somebody else, I'll give you an outhouse quote. But in-house, we're giving 60% off of these systems, just to get food distribution rolled out in a good way. And that's all we're really concerned with. And any of these things that I share, as far as technology is concerned, we're really just trying to get it out there so that we can produce the food security. And we're not so concerned about making sales or selling domes or someone else.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that I've been working on is related to distribution in the sense of I struggled with a long time about money and this whole coin thing and everything, but there's another model called a capital trust, and it unitizes output from, like, let's say an aquaponic farm. So all the contributors get credits of one kilogram of output, and then you divide those up by everybody who puts on the input to build the aquaponics thing. And our system does this kind of unitized trust. It's ambivalent about what it is, but it's also good for membership systems. So you have memberships, and then you have groups that then own portions or shares of something like an aquaponics system. And the whole thing happens basically offline. The system is only for some basic tracking of volumes. It doesn't care about amounts, though. So it's really useful for sort of organizing new economic initiatives when you have high trust small world networks like local production for vegetables. Our next, after we do mapping, our first target is the food web, but right now we're just trying to help people understand why they need to do mapping of their local resource economy.
Totally. I like it. Yeah, I love it. And that would be something that would be super useful to us. We also have a project in Zimbabwe, which I won't get into too much right now, but we have an opportunity to go into Zimbabwe and help them restore their economy from the ground up, which is a huge thing. And it's not something I could be on the ground for. It's not something very many people would want to be on the ground for. It would need to be the Zimbabwe people that took the reins of it. Even though Gabriel's coming to Bali, Gabriel, you really just got to inspire the local people here to get busy. You know, you can't you can't fix shit here. Neither can I. So this is kind of how I approach it. I work with a number of different partners who have come up with some tremendous solutions. But again, we're still in, we're not necessarily in conception stage, but we might as well be in conception stage as far as the mainstream is concerned. Everything from conscious computer diagnostics to, the newest AI. And what we're looking to do is really to synergize that information in a really good way so that we're not, hopscotching around, so we're not jumping from one thing to the next and losing track.
Sure. Do you live somewhere?
Do I live somewhere? That's a question.
Not everybody does. I'm not sure that I live here. You know know what I mean? Like I've been here for 7 years, but I really don't actually live here.
Right.
Yeah. They don't allow me to live here. So
we're based in Colorado right now.
Okay.
No, we travel a lot and we have yet to find home.
Okay. Well, I'll just say a shout out that, if you meet somebody who's there and you'd like to see our tech get deployed where you are, you could get somebody going. So
that would
just
be
keep
beautiful.
me in mind. We're like a local, like if you needed to run Google Local, that's what we do.
Awesome. Where are you based?
I wish I could answer that. I do. I think I'm gonna move to the Philippines.
Okay.
Because they speak English there. It's just too hard here. But
where are you at now?
I'm in Bali.
Bali, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
And we have a nonprofit foundation here that's backing the national deployment of this across the country. But I'm just here seeing it off, and then we're going to go repeat that in Philippines. We've been running a post Yolanda Weir Bank in the Philippines for a couple years, and we're going to go. We've got the cities all signed on now, but we just, I don't know if have you heard about the president there? Nobody can do anything. Everybody's freaked out. They're like, if I do this and I do it wrong, the president's going to shoot me that because he's killed like 7,000 people or whatever since he started, and everybody's totally freaked out. So it's hard to do stuff there right now, but I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. Yeah, it feels good. Feel free to reach out to me either through Slack or my website.
Okay, I sent you a message to your overflowing Facebook also.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about, this is Source Talks. This is 9 a.m. Mondays. We also have shows every day, 9 a.m. The Marketplace is Tuesdays, 9 a.m. Wednesdays is New Earth Directory, building the conscious, largest conscious Craigslist per se, connecting all directories that exist to bring in a better world. It's Wednesday, 9 a.m. Then we have Thursdays, 9 a.m. We are doing a Standing Rock pipeline to unite all Standing Rock, bringing collaborative governance and bringing that Humanitarian Project pipeline acceleration through the networks of Standing Rock. Then Friday mornings, 9 a.m. is Global Women's Empowerment and bringing together all the women, and then collaborative governance and bringing together the missions and incubating projects as well. And then Saturday morning is transformational tours. We partnered up with Jaga, Aaron, Gabriel with the Infinity Loop tour. So we've got the West Coast to the Infinity Loop tour happening this spring, this summer. Then we have the Sunday morning is our 9 a.m. Main feature show, where we just feature everything that's happening in the world, conscious news or projects or interview shows, or just feeding everything we can get that's good content. That's the beginning, but we want to bring on anyone who wants to have their own show. We would love to add those to our schedule and build out the 24/7 media.
Yeah, how do we do that? Do we just send you an email if we want to do our own show and you send us the guidelines?
Sure. Yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
Email, however, whichever way you want to contact me. Just all I need is just title of show, description, and then what your first date of your show will be, and then like what day and time every week or every other week or whatever. And I'll add it to our schedule and I'll promote that schedule. And then when your show's coming up, I'll promote that show. And then after the show, I'll upload the YouTube video and then I'll promote that. And just, that's it.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. So if you have my email already, sourcenetworkfoundation@gmail.com, or go to the source.network, send in a contact us message, or talk to me in Slack. I'll get better at using the Slack direct messenger going forward.
You said Source Network Nation?
Source
at Gmail?
Network. It's Source Network Foundation @gmail.com. And this show, I'm like learning as we go here, so we'll have to just keep bettering this, like really building into this show the project management systems and how it's all gonna flow. So it's not just like, hey, this is who I am, this is the project I'm doing. Maybe you connect with some people on the show, and then the people that see this afterwards, maybe like we start to integrate in the ASC, leadership and systems to like project manage it a little during the shows, as well as after the shows, bring them all into the space and keep moving them forward through, business planning, getting documents created, to, the whole process of project management.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Sounds great, Ron. Thank you so much for what you guys are all doing.
Thanks for the great meeting.
What?
All right. Thank you all. Love you all. It's been a great show. I'll be uploading these videos and I'll tag you guys on Facebook and
Awesome.
Keep this movement rolling.
Yay. Many blessings. Thank you.
All right, brother. All right. Bye, Misty. Bye, Alex. Great to meet you.
Bye.